Peace be with you, Lord's people. In our previous video about the kingdom of darkness, we said that the fallen angels taught human beings witchcraft. They really corrupted human beings, and people really sinned against the Lord. And God, according to the book of Genesis chapter 6, he regretted creating human beings. Demons do not operate without our permission, without permission from human beings. They are disembodied spirits. They need body to operate. Witches use demons to mess up with God's plan. There are several signs which shows you are under evil spirit's attack. A witch can raise altars knowingly, but we sometimes raise altars unknowingly, demonic altars without our knowledge. And in most cases, when you have or when we have evil attacks, most of the time God speaks to us through dreams. You might dream about snakes. Maybe snakes are chasing you. You might dream there are a lot of flies around. Sometimes you dream you are naked. Sometimes you dream you are doing a wedding and maybe you have not wedded. Sometimes you see a lot of rats. You see animals chasing you, elephants chasing you, domestic animals like cows chasing you. And also sometimes you see like buffalo chasing you. You dream you're eating, in a dream you're eating meat. Sometimes you dream of a dead person, maybe your close relative who died some time back, you are chatting to that person. We'll tackle more about dreams in one of these fine days. The dreams usually shows us that there is demonic manifestation in us. And when we dream about attacks, maybe somebody is shooting you, and you don't deal with that dream, you don't know how to pray against the dream, these things might manifest physically. You might lose your life. You might lose your destination. For example, you might be very bright in school. When the teacher teaches you, you understand everything. When you read, you grasp everything. And you are very confident you're going to pass exams. But during exams, the moment you sit down, the question papers are given to you, you forget everything. Sometimes it's your son, sometimes it's your daughter, your father, your mother, or your husband or your wife. Once they sit down to do exams, they forget everything. They wonder what is happening. People say they panic, people say too much tension or fear. But in most cases, these are demonic attacks, because immediately they are done with exams, they start remembering everything. Why does that happen? Some diseases come only when you have money. For example, if you have sold your car, you have sold your plot, you have money, you find things start happening. Your close relative gets accidents. You need thousands of shillings, thousands of dollars to do a certain surgery. If you get salary, maybe during the end of the month or early days of the month, once you get that salary, things start happening, diseases start popping up in your family, only to use money. Those are one of the signs of demonic attacks. Some diseases which come later in life and were there some time back when one is young, those are demonic attacks. Maybe one had bronchitis when he or she was 5 years old. Later, at the age of 60, 70, these diseases come back. Some of these are demonic attacks. Some diseases, we are told by doctors that they are genetic. For example, a family line, you find that people are suffering from tuberculosis. But in real sense, These are altars following a certain family lineage. You can be very beautiful. Maybe you're a very beautiful lady. And somebody promises you that he will marry you. But some few days before wedding, that person looks for another lady who's not as beautiful as you are. And that person marries. And they are just left like that. Later, after this person comes to senses, they start calling you. And already they have family. They have children with that lady. These are demonic attacks. This is war. The war was in heaven before human beings were created. In the book of Revelation chapter 12, verse 7 to 9, it is written, "Then war broke out in heaven. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon, and the dragon and his angels fought back. But he was not strong enough, and they lost their place in heaven. The great dragon was hurled down, the ancient snake called the devil, or Satan, who leads the whole world astray. He was hurled to the earth, and his angels with him." So he is there to deceive. He is there to wage war against God's people. So the war was there before human beings were created. So the devil is jealousy. That's why his kingdom has to work together so that he fights God's kingdom. And without God's intervention, we cannot win this war. And that's why there's a lot of angels assisting us. You can buy maybe a very expensive car, but within 1 month it has caused 3 accidents. You sell it as a scrap. These are demonic attacks. It doesn't mean that you have a careless driver or you yourself are careless. No. Some frustrations lead to depression. Not because you cannot handle depression. All those people who are depressed, sometimes they don't need a psychiatrist. They can go to psychiatrist daily, but still they cannot be delivered. Some of this is a spirit of the depression which makes somebody to keep quiet, not talk anything. So don't blame those people who are depressed that they cannot handle frustration, they cannot handle stress. Some of these things are demonic attacks. But once somebody says he or she is frustrated, she is going to depression, pray for that person and the devil will leave and they will be delivered. The kingdom of darkness knows God's law. That's why the devil was tempting Jesus using the Bible. Devil knows the Bible. And the witchcraft or the witches knows very well, once you annoy God, the Holy Spirit can leave. That's why they try their best before they witch you or they send their demonic attacks to you. They try to annoy you. Somebody can insult you only for you to curse back. Already, if you curse back, they know you have wronged and they can send spirits to attack you. Devil worshippers can try to attack a priest, a pastor, or somebody in church, but they cannot. They try to seduce this pastor or this priest using a very beautiful lady. Devil worshippers or these people who are witches can send a very beautiful lady to a pastor or to a man of God. And once this person sleeps with this lady, they know 100% they have gotten that person. And they spread the news everywhere in the world. And it is easy for evil attacks to happen, not unless that man of God repents very fast. In the book of Matthew chapter 12, verse 44 to 43, 43 to 45, it shows us that in the kingdom of darkness, it's not easy for a devil to give up. He can be defeated, but later comes back to see what is happening. In the book of Matthew, chapter 12, verse 43 and 44, it is written, "When an impure spirit comes out of a person, it goes through arid places seeking rest and it does not find it." So it goes everywhere seeking rest, but it does not find it. Then it says, "I will return to the house I left." Then it arrives. It finds the house unoccupied, swept clean and put in order. So that house is very clean, but no one is occupying it. That's our bodies. Verse 45, it says, then it goes and takes with it 7 other spirits more wicked than itself, and they go in and live there. And the final condition of that person is worse than the first. That is how it will be with the wicked generation. So, when evil spirit goes, it goes looking around where to stay, but it is restless. It needs a body. So it comes back to that person, and it finds that person already delivered, but there is nothing there. There is no one occupying it. Who is supposed to occupy your house? Who is supposed to occupy you when the devil goes? It is supposed to be the Holy Spirit. When the devil comes back, he's supposed to find you are filled with the Holy Spirit and you have the fruits of the Holy Spirit. You can easily forgive. So, if somebody used to be a drunkard, drinking alcohol every time, and this person is delivered, sometimes we celebrate, yes. But if we are not careful, or especially if that person is not careful, he will go back to drinking spree and his situation will be worse. Some people are using drugs or had been using drugs. They get delivered. They stop using drugs for 5 years, 10 years or more. But later these people go back to drugs and they become worse. Sometimes they die. There are some people who used to masturbate when they're in secondary schools. Then after some time they are delivered. Later to realize these people became porn stars. Apart from masturbating, now they play pornography now. So they become worse than before. It's because, yes, after they are delivered, they don't read the Bible, they don't praise and worship, they don't do sacrifices, they have nothing to do with the Holy Spirit. Some people were violent, maybe in a family, a husband, a wife. They stop violence. After some time, they become worse, they kill. Because after they were delivered, the spirit went maybe 1 year, 2 years. And you realize your wife is very okay, your husband is very okay. But later the devil comes with spirits worse than itself. And this person becomes a murderer. There are people who divorce today. You reconcile them. After 6 months, they divorce again. You reconcile them. After 1 year now, they divorce completely. And they say, I can never be married again. I cannot marry again. So they become worse. Because after you deliver them, they have not gone a step further. Or maybe one of them has not gone a step further. Holy Spirit should be with us. And when the devil comes back, he finds we are with the fruits of the Holy Spirit, and he will be defeated. And may the Lord be with you always.